In 1905, Paul Harris, a Chicago attorney, founded Rotary International. Within Rotary lies a classification system implemented to establish and maintain a vibrant cross-section or representation of the community's business, vocational, and professional members, and to develop a pool of resources and expertise to successfully implement service projects. Little did Paul Harris know that Rotary International would turn into a worldwide organization with over 1 million members who have headed countless projects to better the communities in which they live and work. I couldn't be prouder to be part of an organization like this. My name is Kristian Schafer, and my classification is banking. As I tirelessly and feverishly worked on this classification talk, I even pondered myself how I came to be where I am today, why I chose banking as my profession. But as I searched for my answer and spent hours and hours over countless nights, I realized I had to go back to the beginning, back to a simpler time. (1975). Now, while I don't remember anything that happened prior to December 10th of that year, I've been told of times past. Gerald Ford was a sitting president of the United States, and wow, our federal debt was only in the hundreds of billions back then. Pete Rose and the Cincinnati Reds won the World Series. The Pittsburgh Steelers would win one of their eventual 6 Super Bowl titles. Arthur Ashe added to his tennis legend with a victory at Wimbledon, while Foolish Pleasure brought home the Kentucky Derby crown. And one of the greatest fights in professional boxing occurred, the Thrilla in Manila. And after 19 years, 5 months, 4 weeks, and 1 day, the Vietnam War ended, and the harsh reality of those lost became evident. All of that, a solid representation of a special year, but none more special than the birthday in December of that year, the birthday of a future star. Wait, not that star. Ah, yes, there I am. Growing up in the borough of Fountain Hill as a young child, I dreamed of what life would be like when I was an adult, dreamed of what I would become one day, and believe me, banker was not on the list of potential careers back then. There were definitely a few ideas, though. Some only a dreamer could come up with, while others, well, you'll see. But I think the first profession I ever considered was superhero. Would Bethlehem be my Gotham City? Doubtful. Or maybe I would be bitten by a radioactive spider and then spend the remainder of my days feeling motion sickness with all that web slinging I'd be doing. Yeah, I don't think so. Or if not superhero, would the world be ready for a wrestler the likes that no man, woman, or child had ever seen before? Could Schafer Mania run wild? And would I ultimately tear off what would add up to thousands of shirts? Probably not. But I could turn into a silver screen icon, where Tom Hanks and I would lead Michael Clark Duncan down the Green Mile. Now I'm thinking that could have been a successful classification for me. Don't I look the part? Or to think, could I have played that superhero I so wanted to be? I think this definitely could have worked. But alas, life was about to become the adventure that I had so dreamed about as that young boy in Fountain Hill. In the mid-1980s, my parents divorced, and a man named Victor Bonanni was introduced into my life. Vic was an executive with Air Products and Chemicals, and he would become a driving force in my life's direction, along with becoming my stepfather as well, that is, after he won my mom's heart. And with that, man, off life went. Vic took an assignment with Air Products that would move our family across the Atlantic Ocean and into the small village of Cobham in Surrey County, England, about a half hour outside of London. My studies would continue at the American Community School. ACS, as it was more commonly known, had an international faculty and student base, and my time there really opened my eyes to new cultures, many different traditions, and many great friendships. Friendships that years later still share life's most precious moments. Interesting that the same could be said of Rotary International, where we truly embrace diversity and build great friendships that last a lifetime.
Your attention, please. This is the
Over the next decade, I spent my time traveling the globe, seeing some of the most incredible sights that exist on Earth, whether it be the artwork housed in the Louvre, or walking on the same stones as Socrates did on the Acropolis in Athens, or the sheer amazement of seeing the Giza Plateau in Cairo, and wondering how they were able to build those pyramids. I mean, talk about a community project. But no doubt, Rotarians would have gotten it done. What an education during this time in my life. But with time comes increased responsibility, and Lord knows I wasn't getting any younger. So back to the US we went, and with it came a renewed sense of adventure and uncertainty. It was time to begin college, something that Vic and I had spoken about quite a lot over the years. He placed a pretty strong emphasis on education, so Allentown College of St. Francis de Sales would become my college of choice. I studied general curriculum while living off campus, learning how to manage a busy schedule between classes and working full-time in the restaurant industry. I can remember one Sunday during that time well. Vic and I went down to Wedgwood Golf Course to play 18 holes, and I asked him if he'd be willing to share a little bit about his career and maybe have a conversation even about his own investment portfolio, and from there, well, the rest is history. We spoke about banks, we spoke of the S&P, we spoke of his living wills and trusts, we spoke of retirement, we spoke of life's financial responsibilities, and come Monday, I kind of knew what I wanted to do. In fact, everything we spoke about that day was kind of what I do day to day with my clients now. Imagine, not only a career or a classification, but a purpose. So while my true classification is really being this guy's biggest football fan, and my arch nemesis really didn't turn into this guy, who knew it would be these guys that make my life difficult?